Moms have transformed how we work and how we look at work. We've been told for years that we need a career, but many moms have decided to work and school on their own terms, and you can too. Are you ready to make the leap from mom to virtual assistant? Hey, mom. So, welcome to the Life Unboxed podcast. And this is the place where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business, and the most important, keeping your sanity. I am Jodie the mom, a successful virtual assistant and homeschool mom of 6 for almost 10 years. And my goal is to give you as much help as possible so you can confidently start a business and homeschool your kids. If you are a fellow rebel mom, then be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog because there is a ton of stuff for my fellow rebel moms. So now let's get into this week's topic. Whether you work in an office and your kids go to daycare or you're at home with your kids, making the transition from mom to virtual assistant takes thought and planning to make it successful. And this is the first step in quietly stepping out of the race you never wanted to be in, finding your own lane, and proceeding to win. So when I was laid off from my job, I knew I wanted to change my story of working and being a mom. I had no idea what that looked like or how it would even happen. And I will leave the link, share more of that in a different show, so I'll leave the link for you in the description below. But I knew I still needed to make money, so my income is important to our family. But how on earth could I still be a mom and a virtual assistant? Well, almost 10 years later, I know that it is possible. So why do we make the leap from mom to virtual assistant? So there are many reasons to start a virtual assistant business. You need to help with the family budget, or you want to buy homeschool curriculum. It can get expensive. Okay. You want to keep your skills sharp. That's another reason. So whatever your reason is, a virtual assistant may be just what you're looking for. Now, it isn't an easy transition, but it is definitely possible. Okay, so let's talk about the mental toughness to be a mom and virtual assistant. Just because something is hard, it doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. And anything worth doing is hard. I'm sure your mom told you that a lot growing up. But many times we make the mistake of using happiness as a barometer for what we do. Does this make me happy? If I am unhappy doing this task, then that means I should stop. So does that sound familiar? But let me tell you, happiness is the wrong way to measure anything. And yes, I have another show on that as well. Choosing to homeschool your kids and be a virtual assistant is going to be hard. You are going to have bad days, but that is not an indication that you should stop what you're doing. There are times you need to quit to make room for other things, but those times are rare. Now, don't think because it is hard, you shouldn't be doing it. This momtrepreneur life is going to be hard and challenging. There are rewards for it, though, and at this point, I don't think I would ever work for someone again. Because as a virtual assistant, I put a lot of emphasis on working with people, not for them. Yes, I like that emphasis there. So that means you get to be the queen of your schedule. Yes, you are the one who decides when you want to work. You get to be the biggest influence on your kids. And this is the greatest reward. You get to know your kids and spend time with them. And they grow up faster than you realize. Okay, so how to transition from mom to virtual assistant. If you're ready to make the leap, then there are a few things you can do to make it easier. The first thing is plan for it financially. This doesn't mean you need to already be making a bunch of money. It just means that you need to look at your budget, figure out what you can cut, and start saving. There are a few expenses that you need to consider when you start off, but the great thing about being a virtual assistant is the low overhead cost. You probably already have a computer that you can use. I do recommend paying for a website. This is one of the first expenses that you probably want to spend money on. So I started my virtual assistant business with a desk and a computer that I stole from somewhere in the house. My office and my computer setup have changed over the years. So you can definitely grow into your business. It doesn't have to start perfect or with a Pinterest-worthy setup. Don't get sucked into Pinterest and think that this is the way it has to look. So look around your house, decide what you can use for your home office, and get started. You can change things as you start making money. I never recommend going into debt, so grow into your office. Number 2, you don't need to do everything all at once. And I know if anyone else is a type A personality out there, this is a hard one. I get an idea into my head and I feel obligated to act on it immediately. But we don't always have the luxury of time. And sometimes it is better to wait so you don't exhaust yourself or burn yourself out. When I was laid off, it was the middle of the school year. So instead of taking immediate action to homeschool my kids, I waited so I could figure things out with my business first and get my first clients, start having money come in. The following fall, I started homeschooling my oldest 2 boys. My daughter was still in school, and I brought her home the following year. I didn't try to do everything all at once, but waited until I found some equilibrium with my business, and then I started small with just 2 kids at once. Number 3, decide what you want to do. And this can be the most overwhelming part. Figuring out what you want to do and what will make money is never easy. But here's the thing. You can always change it. I know, this is rebel mom mode. So you don't have to keep doing something you don't like. And something that you like to do in the office, you may not like to offer as a service as well. You are your own boss, and that means you can change things as often as you want. If you're ready to make the leap from mom to virtual assistant and you want some extra help, then check out my Mom Boss 2.0 course. This is like having a business coach, but without the time commitment. Because ain't nobody got time for that. And the best part, you can still ask me questions directly within the course. So, mom, if you want to make this transition from mom to virtual assistant, what is holding you back from starting? What is the biggest obstacle? If you're ready to break free from the 9-to-5, be your own boss, raise your kids, and enjoy your life, then get the Mom Boss 2.0 course and change your story. I am so glad you joined me today. Remember, you can listen to the podcast on any platform where there's a podcast. They're all there. And be sure to visit lifeunboxed.blog for more great momtrepreneur content, and share this video and this podcast with a friend who's ready to make that leap. And I will see you in the next show.